Hello, Aries, my fire family. How are you? Thank you so much for clicking here. Happy weekend to you. As I'm doing this reading, it is the weekend. Please remember that whenever I throw these cards, they're always for the week ahead, whether you get that today, tomorrow, or next year. We're not all on the same timeline. Aries, welcome. So if you've never been here before, welcome here. And look, there's a subscription button down in the bottom right-hand corner of this little crazy square where I live if you'd like to stay. And Aries, if you're back because you are the ride or die, thanks so much for doing that. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Let's look at the week ahead for you, Aries. Tell me about Aries, please. What do we need to know about Aries collective energy for the week ahead? Look, in the week ahead, on Monday, y'all, we are going through that Scorpio full moon. So this weekend might get a little rocky as it pertains to your emotions and things that are coming up from the surface. That's what this full moon is about, for you to release the things that you no longer need to carry with you emotionally here. Coming to a reckoning. You are about to get into the flow, my friend. You've already been on quite a voyage, it seems, and it's time for you to stop taking bumps in the hard water. I think it's, you know, the waves that are crashing to and fro. It's time for you to get into the flow here after this long voyage. And I feel like it's been like a long emotional voyage. At some point you've been carried by the universe, I would say, but it does feel like it's been a long emotional voyage. We have full moons on both of these, I'm just gonna say. And so I think that you are probably connecting with this read because you are carrying a lot of emotional things that I feel will be purged over about the next 5 or 6 days, it feels like here. We have courage. Bottom of the deck, we have trust. The bottoms of the decks for me are the future energy, so further to than what I'm reading today. I brought up my surrender deck because full moons are about conclusions. They're about things coming to an ending or purging things. And so I feel like it's appropriate that we look at what you might want to surrender around the full moon. Let's talk about Aries, please. We've got surrender to success. I kind of like that. Okay, so look, we've got the voyage. That's why I was saying I feel like the universe has been carrying you a little bit through some really emotional things, it seems like. It feels like you're the record keeper, or you're the person who remembers your last lives, or you might be a person who knows this isn't your first gig here. This isn't your first time here. It feels like you've been at this before. It's like you've hit the ground running in this life. And what I mean by that is some people, you know, they get into this life and all of a sudden they realize they have some sort of a natural talent, which for you could be leadership, right? You are a natural leader. You have a natural passion about you. We do have trust. It says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. So I feel like in the times when you were carried, that you couldn't listen to the intuition or possibly didn't have a hold on it. I feel like those are the times when you were carried, but I feel like you're beginning to trust yourself a little more, or you will begin to trust yourself a little bit more in the future here. Bottom of the deck here, we have frustration. So surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving dilemma and or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. So I feel like it's a part of what you will be releasing going forward, I think, is the release of some frustration. So we have the flow. You can see it looks pretty serene there. We have a lot of dark purple or violet energy, which tells me that you're seeing things a little bit clearer than you used to. Possibly you were in a process of healing, which is the energy of lavender, right? Or amethyst, right? It's all about the healing part. So I feel like you've been healing from some sort of frustration, and it feels like there is an eye-opening situation. I feel that's going to be. It's like your third eye opens and you're like, how did I let that go on for so long? And it's time to purge it and get rid of it. It feels like you are making an attempt to get back into the flow. We've got courage. It says, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. And so this could be why you chose not to see it up until now. Maybe you just thought, you know what, it's just going to cause a rock in the boat that I'm not ready for, or I'm not interested in at this time. But it really does feel like, with all this violet energy here, that you finally found the courage to trust your intuition and get into the flow. But the only way you can get into the flow is by releasing the things that no longer serve you. We've got surrender to success. It says you are ready to experience abundance. Don't look back at previous roadblocks or difficulties. Leap into an exciting new world of possibilities. And I think that's kind of what's happening here. It feels like you're gathering the courage or finding the courage to be able to get into the flow. Look, a lot of people would say the flow is not the place you want to be. It's not very exciting, but I'm telling you this is the place of balance. This is the place of finding the silence that you need in order to trust yourself, in order to trust your intuition. All right, Aries. See what the tarot has to say. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aries. Aries, also don't forget, I still have private reads open. I'm also doing live private reads now, which there is a 75% off introductory for you if you want to try that. But I am doing pre-recorded readings. Please look in the pinned comment for any other information you might need. Tell me about Aries, please. Tell me about Aries. We have the Five of Cups, Aries. It does feel like you're a little bit troubled. I'm just going to say, as we go into the energy for the week ahead, this is Scorpio energy. And so it does feel like you are feeling a little bit troubled by the past, possibly. And I feel like this could be a little bit of regrets, but I think the regrets that you're dealing in are regrets that I didn't take action soon enough, or I didn't trust myself enough to stop that thing before it started. Those are the kinds of regrets that I feel like you're up against here. We have the Magician. I like that. And then we have the Hierophant. So look, I really feel like you've learned a lesson. And I think that the lessons that you learn, Aries, the reason that you are a leader, the reason that I feel like you lead with, that you're a spiritual leader, and you might not be somebody who is noticeably spiritual, I like to say. There are people who like to wear their spirituality on the outside. Then there are someone who wear it quietly on the inside. And I want to say that the Hierophant is one of those people. So I feel like you're somebody who is cultivating your spirituality or your intuition. You're cultivating that quietly. I feel like you are acquiring the tools, the resources, the transformational energy, and I really do feel like this energy of the Magician here is telling me that there is a transformation going on here, because at some point we all realize we're the Magician, right? We start out as the Fool, all of us, not really knowing where we're going or what we're doing. And once we start to gain momentum or get our feet on the ground, that's when we turn into the Magician. We go from the Fool to the World card, the major arcana. The first person that the Fool goes to visit on their journey through life is the Magician, to get all the tools and the skills and learn about transformation, learn about how to manifest. I feel like that's the place that you're in right now. And it feels like you're becoming more sturdy, more solid, digging your heels in. And I don't mean, it's Taurus energy, but I don't mean that you're being stubborn. I think that you are learning how to stand strong, stand tall, to really live with your convictions, whether that's externally or internally. Some people do process that internally. I think for some of you, that's what it is. You're processing it all internally. We have the Moon in the reverse here. It feels like all of this contemplation that you've been going through is going to result in something coming to the surface here. Now, the Moon energy is very deep emotional energy. It's Pisces and Cancer energy. And so it does feel like that possibly it's you I'm talking to, that there's going to be something you're going to be releasing, or that's going to come to the surface. And it could come to the surface in the it could materialize into tears or emotions. Could be that. Tell me more. We've got the Page of Pentacles. It's necessary in order for you to have a clean, new spiritual beginning, is what it feels like. So for those of you who are already feeling the pull of the full moon, if you are sensitive to the moon energy, You might even have a Scorpio placement or a water placement. It feels like, all the water placements are here. Or even Taurus. Taurus is quite spiritual as well. It does feel like there is a new sort of stable, I want to say, beginning. You're about to put way more effort and energy into understanding who you truly are, which is not only a leader, but I feel like you are a leader of people, a spiritual leader, a spiritual teacher, possibly, someone who brings or teaches structure, little bits of structure. It's the beginning of the structure, right? And I also think that it's the beginning of your learning. And maybe not right at the very beginning, but I feel like you're coming to a new ascension process. We go through many, many ascensions in our lifetimes here. And I feel like through this full moon, you will be coming to a new purge, a new ascension process, it feels like. We do have the Six of Cups. It is a matter of remembering who we used to be. We come here, some of us having lived in these lifetimes before, and it's like we then begin to remember who we were the last time we were here. And so that's what this Six of Cups is telling me. It tells me that you're remembering, and that's what's coming to the surface here. You might be having emotional aha moments throughout the weekend. We've got the Fool here, which is very interesting, along with the World card. So look, you are going through some sort of transformation here, which was apparent with the Magician energy, but now is even more apparent with the World and the Fool card. So there is a chapter that you're intending to close, whether you understand that this is an intention or not. I feel like there is something that's wrapping up through this full moon for you, that you are coming to the end of something, and that's what full moons are. They are the release or the culmination of something, right? Something that's coming full circle. And I think that you are wrapping up something because you're about to go on some sort of a new chapter of your life here. The door is opening to a new chapter, and I feel like you are ready for it. I'm going to say you're ready to jump right in head first or take a leap of faith. We do have the Hanged Man, and I feel like that could be the energy that you've been in for a little bit now, maybe a little more contemplative, maybe a little more internal, maybe feeling like that you didn't want to start anything new, or maybe you felt like you were holding back, or maybe keeping to yourself just a little bit more as well. It could be that. I think it's all in preparation for you to release some emotional things so you can get into the flow. And in the flow, there is balance. It's a place of balance. It's a place of release. It's a place where you can be quiet with yourself in order to understand what your next path, we saw the Fool, right? What the next path is going to require of you, Aries. Tell me about the Magician. What sorts of tools are being blessed upon Aries in the week ahead, please? Tools, resources, transformation, butterflies are here. There's some manifesting going on here. Maybe you've decided to try out manifestation, trying to turn your thoughts into things. We do have the Nine of Wands here. We have the Ten of Swords. It is definitely a release. It's a release of things that you've been carrying around with you, Aries, that are not yours to carry, is what it looks like. You might, and I mean, I've never really met an Aries who just wasn't always there on the front line for somebody who is going through a hard time. Aries, I feel like you've accumulated too much. It feels like you're feeling weighed down, feeling exhausted. And so the Nine of Wands tells me that you are quite resilient, as Aries is, but it feels like you've got to stop this. It's time for a release, and it might be painful, maybe for you or for others. Maybe you'll feel like you're backing away from friends or not being very helpful, but I really do believe that you're carrying enough, that it's become quite exhausting for you. I feel like it's only a matter of time before you release these burdens you've been carrying, but I feel like this full moon is going to ask of you to release any emotional, heavy emotional weights that you've been carrying here. And I feel like your friends, your family, people see you as the strong one. They see you as the one with the quiet strength. I feel like you're going to have to face that. And, the quiet strength that you carry, Aries, isn't always so you can carry things for others. This quiet strength that you have, I honestly feel this time round, is the strength of knowing when it's time for you to just put down what is not yours. It's going to feel like you're letting people down, Aries, but I feel like it's time for you to surrender some things through the full moon this time around. Look, if you don't have a little ritual that you do, I usually take this abalone shell here, and I usually write things down and during a full moon, and unless it's an eclipse, I write down during the full moon, and I will burn them in there, and I will ask to send things back, things I'm carrying, things that aren't mine. I ask respectfully that the universe just take those things back. So I feel like these is telling me here that you have regrets coming to the surface. So we have the moon energy and we have the 5 of cups. It seems that there is some sadness or regrets that might be coming to the future. Tell me more about this for Aries. We have the Hanged Man. We have the 9 of Swords in the reverse. And look, we have the King of Swords. I feel like for you, it is going to have to be about speaking out your feelings, and not speaking them out when you're overly emotional, but speaking them out when you're in this King of Swords energy. It's time for you to get into this energy of speaking to people head over heart and not taking everything in emotionally. I know you make it look easy, Aries, but you're carrying, I'm looking here and I see that you're carrying a lot of emotional hardship from other people. The 9 of Swords is in the reverse. You have to stop worrying about people who are not worrying about themselves. And we have the Hanged Man energy. So it feels like what you're trying to do is hold back your worry, but trying to be really strong. And when you're dealing in a situation, you sort of take the emotions out of it to try and help whoever is in peril, whoever needs your help. I feel like this King of Swords is someone who's quite mentally strong, right? So I feel like you're the one who steps in to carry the things that other people can't carry in their life, in terms of mental anguish, possibly making decisions. Could be that. I feel like it's time for you now to focus on giving some of the energy to yourself, because we do have the Hierophant here. I feel like it's time for you to learn these lessons and put them into practice now that you trust your intuition. This is the result of you trusting your intuition over time. Tell me about the Page of Pentacles. Something's beginning to grow here, and I think it's your intuitive trust in the self is what it feels like here. We've got the 5 of Swords. Yeah, you're still fighting with yourself just a little bit here, but I feel as though you will get to a place where you're in a neutral position first, and then you'll take a bold move forward. It feels like with the 5 of Swords that it feels like you're trying to come to terms with the intrusive thoughts that you're dealing with, in terms of being there for everyone all of the time. Look, the Page of Cups is always the person who is going to bring the good news, and I feel like that's what you're tasked with. When there's people in your life who are having a hard time, I feel like you're the one that boldly steps forward and says, look, it's going to be fine, don't worry about it. I feel like you're going to go through a period where you've got to fight yourself doing that. I feel like it's it feels like it's it doesn't make you feel good. It's going to feel like a tug and a pull for you. It doesn't feel good not to help people. I feel like we're looking at the 6 of Cups here, and this 6 of Cups is giving me the energy, last life energy, and it makes me feel like you're here this time, Aries, to learn about how to look inward, because I feel like you were probably externally helping everybody in your last life. And I feel like it's like you're supposed to be pulling in this energy and remembering who you were in the last life. Just going to say, go look at your South Node energy. Pull up your chart, go look at South Node, and you will see who you were in the last life and what you were doing with your time. And it's quite likely that it's probably a little bit opposite of what you are right now. Take a look at that. Let's look at the 6 of Cups. We've got the 10 of Cups. We've got the 8 of Wands. And we've got the 2 of Pentacles. And so I think that you're here this time around to know the self. Listen to the self. Get connected to your intuition. To make decisions, quick decisions, based in your happiness and not the happiness of others. And when I say the happiness of others, I'm talking about people who are not your immediate family. So I feel like your happiness comes from moving forward, staying busy, moving quickly. I feel like this this energy here of the Six of Cups is telling me that if you probably go look at your chart and you look at your South Node energy, that it's likely that you spent a lot of your time helping other people in the last life. And I think that this time, you with this Aries energy, Aries is about the self, right? It's about you. It's about you pushing forward, moving forward. And I feel like you need to spend a little bit more time thinking of yourself rather than other people. And it's not a selfish thing, friend. Not at all. I'm going to put down 3 cards because I've been doing extensions. This week I am extending, and if you're interested in seeing any of the extensions, they are in my membership area. I do leave a link in the pinned comment below if you'd like to join us in the membership area for any of these extensions. Put down 3 cards, and we'll talk about these 3 cards going into the extension. We do have the Two of Wands. We have the Ace of Swords. Ooh, and we have the Tower. Okay, so it looks like there is something that's coming up in the week ahead for you, Aries, and it's going to be a conversation that's going to cause a tower. It feels like you are about to take action on something. It feels like you're going to be having a conversation with someone possibly, and that's what I was sort of talking about, that something is coming to the surface that's going to be hard for you to deal with. There's a regrettable conversation that I feel that you have to have with somebody who's been taking up a lot of your time. And I don't think that they've been stealing it. I think you've been giving it. But I feel like this conversation you're going to have is something that you've been waiting at the crossroads for. It's something that you were at the crossroads about. I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if this is the time to do it. But it feels like you are going to be getting some downloads or receive some clarity about opening a conversation with somebody. And guess what? There we go. That's Scorpio energy, right? And so it feels like, Scorpio energy, you share the planet, the ruling planet, right, with Scorpio, and that is Mars. And so it is an energy of a conversation you're about to have that's going to cause an incredibly big shift in your mindset, in the way you think, in the way you make someone else think. It's something you've been holding back. It could be with a mother possibly, or a spouse, or somebody who you hold in high esteem. But it looks like you've been holding back, and you're no longer holding back. We'll talk about that in the extension. If you want to go there, like I said, look in the pinned comment. You will see the link to join the private member area. I'm going to go for now. You guys take care. I will be back because I'm always back. I hope you guys are well. Bye-bye.